This next question is from @Richard1113. The question here is, how can someone diversify a concentrated stock position without creating too much modified adjusted gross income to preserve ACA subsidies? This is a great example of the very human element of retirement planning or sequence of withdrawals planning, which is everything has a set of trade-offs. Sometimes we can harvest concentrated stock positions and reduce it while still qualifying for Affordable Care Act subsidies. Candidly, that will probably require either an extremely large pool of high tax basis brokerage money in addition to your concentrated position, or it will require a large pool of Roth money or cash in order to facilitate it. It will be difficult. The issue here is that, and this is where one of the pitfalls that should be explained is, harvesting long-term capital gains from a concentrated position can have a zero tax result up to a very high amount of capital gains income. It's up to roughly $96,000 for a married couple. The problem is, just because you pay zero tax on it doesn't mean it is not quote unquote counted towards your MAGI. It actually is still counted towards your MAGI. And that's a pitfall that often people, I think, will run into, is they will not know that. They'll see a zero tax dollar estimate, but not realize that that still is taxable income. It's just not taxed on that taxable income, which is different. So this leads back to the overall conversation of retirement planning is always a set of interwoven elements that have trade-offs. In this case, the way I would think through this is, how much risk am I exposing myself to by holding this concentrated stock position? And is it worth more to me to reduce that concentrated stock position, but potentially forego ACA subsidy premiums or subsidized ACA health insurance premiums? Or is the cost of losing those subsidies worth more to me than the actual risk I feel exposed to holding this concentrated stock position? That's a really hard evaluation to make. Candidly, I don't envy anyone in that position. And it depends on a few things: how big that concentrated stock position is, what company it is. Obviously, a small cap company is very different from a large cap company. Is it a private company? Is it a public company? I mean, you have elements that are hard to forecast, but it's a truly unenviable position to be in because it requires a judgment call and an exposure to it requires a commitment to something that is unpredictable, which means it's actually quite hard for our human nature to actually accommodate making that decision. Just to play it out for another second or two, you could imagine I have $1 million and $500,000 are in Microsoft because I was an employee. The cost basis is really low, so I have a large unrealized gain from all those years. And I have to ask myself, do I believe that selling $100,000 of Microsoft a year over the next 5 years is going to reduce my risk substantially enough that it was worth giving up $20,000 a year of ACA subsidies? I'm not saying it does or doesn't. That's a really difficult position. How do you quantify risk reduction in the same way you quantify premium subsidies obtained today? One is a dollar benefit you literally will get to your hand today, and the other is a hypothetical, hopeful benefit that is preventative in nature if markets were to crash and it requires all these domino effect of other events to occur. It still could be the right decision, right? Microsoft, for example, had an experience in the last couple of years where it went from over $500 a share roughly down to under $400 a share. It's like, maybe I think the spread is even wider than that. Like, you could have made the case that if you had perfect foresight and seen that coming, that the amount of value you would have protected would have been more than the offsetting benefit you'd have got for the ACA subsidies. But how do you know that was going to be what happened? We don't actually know. There's no way to plan for that. So, and that's what makes this truly difficult, because the opposite could be totally true. Someone could take that same perspective, but instead of Microsoft, let's make it Tesla, which is a much higher standard deviation and is much more volatile than Microsoft. You could make the case that Tesla might actually be more worthwhile to reduce the concentrated position because of the volatility. Or let's make it MicroStrategy, like small cap MicroStrategy, which is basically a Bitcoin proxy, but the volatility is crazy. It goes from $350 a share to $70 a share. And again, how do you actually make this evaluation? Again, not all stocks are the same. I'm not making any recommendation or advice for a specific stock or specific action. You're just pointing out that the framework is difficult because you have to take something that is higher probability, which is the ability to obtain an ACA subsidy, and then cost compare it to the potential risk reduction due to potential market volatility. Anyways, I belabored the point too much. Thank you for the question at Richard1113. Real quick, let me show you the exact 3-pillar comprehensive retirement roadmap that takes retirees from uncertainty to peace of mind that less than 1% of retirees actually have in place. Now, I've built hundreds of these for retirees, and I can say with a high degree of confidence that these are the 3 pillars every retiree needs to have in place in order to have full confidence that they're not missing anything in their retirement plan. And I broke each of these down by the specific questions. You can see them here that each needs to be answered and the best way to answer them. Now, we've done this across pre-retirees, recent retirees, married couples, single retirees, $1 million portfolios, $10 million portfolios, all the above, and it works. And it's my gift to you today. It's absolutely free. It's in the first link in the description below this video. It's going to say free comprehensive retirement roadmap training. Just click the link, enter your info, and you'll get instant access all for free.